Well, y'all, I guess it was only a matter of time till the New York Times dropped the pretense of not telling us what's really going on with the whole Democrat shutdown, how their strategy thing is, and now they're just throwing them under the bus. Literally, they just dropped everything, all the things that were going on, which is interesting because I don't remember them dropping this while the shutdown was going on, but the day after they capitulate, now all of a sudden the deal and the plan was so clear the whole time. Y'all, we are dealing with villains, and if you want to defeat the villains, of which I'm about to highlight, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. You, of course, can follow me on X at Braden LOA, but let's get right back into this. I want to not bury the lead and just dive right in. And again, we're going to do our live stream tonight. Do not miss that one. It's going to start at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. But this right here and right now, New York Times opinion piece. It is magical. It's a miracle. From on high, the truth has been revealed from our betters at the New York Times. Ezra Klein drops an opinion piece November 10th, the day after the Democrats basically capitulated and got bent over a chair like a cheap suit. All of a sudden, what were they thinking? Let me tell you what they were thinking. We knew the whole time. Did you? Did you know the whole time? This is why we exist. This is why we have these conversations, because everything that we're about to cover in this article is stuff that we had talked about. This is why, because they try to hide these things from you, thinking you are too stupid to understand what was going on this entire time. This is why the new media, social media, is completely and totally undermining them. Watch this. This is wild. They actually thought that you guys didn't know this. All right, here we go. Back in September, when I was reporting an article on whether Democrats should shut down the government, I kept hearing the same warning from veterans of past shutdown fights. The president controls the bully pulpit. He controls to some degree which parts of the government stay open and which parts close. It is very, very hard for the opposition party to win a shutdown. That's weird, because I was told, I think you were too, that the Democrats were trying to defeat the Republicans who shut down the government because the Republicans were the opposition party. Let me know in the comments in the chat if you guys remember that, because I seem to remember that. I don't know why. It was a really long time ago. It was like 2 days ago. So I'm a little fuzzy. Of course they were trying to do that, but apparently the whole time they knew. The whole time. Okay. It only gets worse from here, guys. Let's get into it. Democrats wrecked Republicans in the election, talking about Tuesday's special election last week, and Trump blamed his party's losses in part on the shutdown. Democrats were riding higher than they have been in months. Then, over the weekend, a group of Senate Democrats broke ranks and negotiated a deal to end the shutdown in return for, if we're being honest, very little. So even the New York Times, in their whole breakdown and post-mortem on what's happening, even they say the Democrats got railed. Okay? We're going to keep on going. Got a couple more points. And again, we're all driving towards the live stream tonight at 9 Eastern Time. To understand why the shutdown ended with such a whimper, you need to understand the strange role the Obamacare subsidies played in it. Democrats said the shutdown was about the subsidies, but for most of them, it wasn't. Wait for it. It was about Trump's authoritarianism. You mean they were lying to the American people and it was about something that was not what they're discussing? That's weird. I can't imagine where you would have heard that before. Because every single conservative media outlet, every single YouTube channel, every single person was like, yeah, no kidding. It's all about anything anti-Trump. It was about showing their base and themselves that they could fight back. And then they retreated. It was about treating an abnormal political moment with abnormality. Okay, this is the thing they don't understand. And come here real quick. They don't understand that just because it's an abnormal moment and you have to act abnormally, it doesn't mean you turn into a psychopath, right? So think about this in a different context. Think about this in your lives every single day. If you have a normal, average, baseline day, you go to work, you go play in your garden, you do whatever you do, and you get stung by a bee in the garden, that doesn't mean because that abnormal event, you're going to go down and burn your house down. No, you can just respond and take care of the problem appropriately. And going to the extreme of burning the house down because something abnormal happened, so you have to react in an abnormal way, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Same thing with the job example. If you have a bad day, you're not going to immediately quit because you had one abnormal day. And after all, quitting your job is an abnormal action. It doesn't make sense. It's like it's being an extremist just to be an extremist to prove to people that you care. We're getting now into a point where it's no longer about political litmus test. It's now about emotional litmus test. Do you care enough to resist Donald Trump? Well, the fight's kind of stupid and dumb and we're doomed to fail. But do you care enough? Guys, this is where it's devolving to. Okay? And Schumer's going to get it in tonight's video. I'm so excited. They are out for his Schumer blood. Okay? Let's keep on going. But the shutdown was built on a cracked foundation. That's weird because I was told it's perfect. There were Senate Democrats who didn't want to shut down at all. There were Senate Democrats who didn't want to shut down but thought it strange to make their demands so narrow. Again, thought everything was unified, everything was on the level, everything was good to go. Apparently it wasn't. Sorry. This is why Senator Chuck Schumer's compromise, which offered to reopen the government if Republicans extended the tax credits for a year, struck so many Democrats as misguided. By the way, you and I had the discussion the day that Chuck Schumer put out his compromise that he had blinked. And that was the moment. Because he blinked that afternoon. The next morning, Trump came out and said, let's just send the money to the American people and let's just do it that way, which would take the power and control away from the Democrats and the government. And then the deal became a reality. Isn't that weird? Schumer talked first. He spoke first. He blinked. Donald Trump responded. They caved completely. That's exactly the way it transpired. Let's continue, though. Morally, it might be worth sacrificing an electoral edge to lower health insurance premiums, but a one-year extension solved the Republicans' electoral problem without solving the policy problem. Why on earth would they do that? More than anything else, this is what led some Senate Democrats to cut a deal. Trump's willingness to hurt people exceeded their willingness to see people get hurt. Here's the big irony of this. They say in this New York Times article that it's all about Trump wanting to hurt people because he's a tyrant. The Democrats shut the government down, used the American people as a leverage point, and because Trump didn't react, they're now saying that, oh, Trump wanted to hurt people. No, Trump just wasn't going to give in to the terrorist. And in this case, the Democrats were operating as the terrorist. He didn't. They capitulated. He won full-throatedly. Let's keep on going. Something else I want to show you. This, in the end, is the calculation the defecting Senate Democrats are making. They don't think a longer shutdown will cause Trump to cave. They just think it will cause more damage. In other words, a backfire. But it's worth keeping this in perspective. The shutdown was a skirmish, not a real battle. Both sides were fighting for position, and Democrats, if you look at the polls, are ending up in a better one than they were when it started. They elevated their best issue, healthcare, and set the stage for voters to connect higher premiums with Republican rule. It's not a win, but given how badly shutdowns often go for the opposition party, it's better than a loss. Let me translate that out for you. Well, when we played this football team prior, they turned the scoreboard off because they just lapped us. But this time we only lost by a large margin. Y'all, literally put the pedal to the floor. Take this victory home. Keep on grinding. You have an opportunity to go all over their plans, their pushes, their platform, their party, everything. There's an unprecedented opportunity. Take advantage of it, and I'll see you tonight at the 9 p.m. Eastern show, or 9 p.m. Eastern live show, where we continue to do just that. It's going to be a great one. See you on that.